So let's continue with our discussion on common pediatric infections. Visceral leishmaniasis yield is highest from A. spleen, B. liver, C. bone marrow aspirate and D. lymph nodes. And the correct answer to this question is option number A, that is spleen. Leishmaniasis is a vector-borne disease caused by obligate intracellular protozoan of the genus Leishmania. It's transmitted by the bite of a sandfly. Clinical features range from self-healing cutaneous ulcers to systemic multi-organ disease. Visceral leishmaniasis is also known as Kala Azar, that is black fever. Other forms of leishmaniasis are cutaneous leishmaniasis or mucocutaneous leishmaniasis. So these are the three different manifestations of leishmaniasis. So what are the clinical features? Children in the age group of 1 to 4 years are the most affected. Incubation period is 2 to 3 months, sometimes may extend up to 1 year. History of residence in endemic areas. Even in world, 90% of the cases of leishmaniasis are there only in 6 countries, and they are India, Bangladesh, Sudan, South Sudan and Brazil. And in India, the endemic areas of Bihar, West Bengal and Eastern UP. Children usually present with fever, chills, rigor, malaise and weight loss. Splenohepatomegaly is a common examination finding. It is splenohepatomegaly. So the spleen is massively enlarged, more enlarged than the liver. And there are signs of malnutrition. Child may also have anemia and thrombocytopenia, mainly because of bone marrow infiltration as well as hypersplenism. How do you make a diagnosis of leishmaniasis? So for that, you can either demonstrate the parasite, the amastigote form, which can be shown from microscopic examination from either the bone marrow, the spleen or the lymph node. The yield is maximum from the spleen, but it is not the most commonly used area for parasite demonstration because it is associated with a number of complications. It can lead to massive bleeding, and that is the reason spleen is not preferred. And that's why bone marrow is commonly used to demonstrate amastigote form of the parasite to make a diagnosis of leishmaniasis. Serological tests. Serological tests are based on immunofluorescence assay and ELISA, though they are poorly adapted to field tests. The direct agglutination tests and the RK39 based immunochromatographic tests are specifically adapted for the field test. So they can give you rapid results and you just need a drop of blood to do the RK39 test. Treatment. So pentavalent antimonials are commonly used for the treatment of leishmaniasis. Amphotericin B, miltefosine. This is the first oral anti-leishmania drug. So which is the oral anti-leishmania drug? Question can be asked. Miltefosine and paromomycin. So this is about our discussion on leishmaniasis. Now let's come on to our next question. A 5-year-old child presents with fever and sore throat. On examination, he has lesions on the palm as shown in the image. What is the most likely causative organism? And your options are A. measles virus, B. rubella virus, C. Coxsackie virus and D. Staphylococcus aureus. And the correct answer to this question is option number C, that is Coxsackie virus. Now the diagnosis of these lesions and a 5-year-old with fever and sore throat with these rashes, the diagnosis is hand, foot, mouth disease, where the incubation period is 3 to 6 days. It is a highly contagious viral illness. Fever and sore throat may be the initial symptoms, followed by rash on hands and feet. Majority of cases are associated with Coxsackie virus A16 and Ecovirus 71. These are the two important etiological agents implicated in hand, foot and mouth disease. Ecovirus 71 tends to be more severe with associated cardiopulmonary and neurological complications. Many a times the disease occurs in groups commonly seen in nurseries, kindergarten children. So these are how the lesions look like. So these are blister-like sores over the hands and the feet as well as on the tongue, and it is because of these blister-like sores that the baby just doesn't eat food well, and the mothers are extremely worried because these are painful and they just does not let the child to have his food properly. So these are the lesions of hand, foot and mouth disease. Now while I was discussing all these illnesses, the childhood illnesses, you might have seen that I have discussed about incubation periods in most of these illnesses. Now you would think that how is it possible to learn the incubation period of so many illnesses? Well, I will just try to simplify it for you. So this is how you can remember the incubation period of most of the diseases. So I have divided the incubation period of all these diseases into 4 groups. So less than 1 week, 1 to 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks and more than 4 weeks. Now how to remember this? See, this is the first group which has incubation period of less than 1 week. 2 conditions that you have to remember: diphtheria and hand, foot and mouth disease. Now, if you remember, diphtheria has a pseudomembrane in the fascial area. It can cause immediate symptoms. It will cause respiratory failure. The child will not be able to eat. So, the symptoms will come very quickly. So, shortest incubation period, less than 1 week. Books usually mention it as 2 to 5 days. Right? So, less than 1 week. With hand, foot and mouth disease, again I mentioned because of the oral lesions, the child is not able to eat. A symptom that the mother will pick very quickly. So, short incubation period. Now, let's come on to this group. A group with incubation period of more than 4 weeks. So, there are 2 diseases here: infectious mononucleosis and leishmaniasis. Infectious mononucleosis, the causative agent is Epstein-Barr virus. And Epstein-Barr virus causes a number of malignancies. So just to remember, you can think that an etiological agent which causes malignancies must have a long incubation period. So the longest incubation period in this group is of infectious mononucleosis along with leishmaniasis. Right, so you can remember these 4 diseases like this. Now let's come on to these 2 groups. So between this 2 to 3 weeks of incubation period, there are just 3 diseases, that is MRV, that is mumps, rubella and varicella, and rest all of the diseases will come in this group, right? So this is a simple way in which you can remember all these incubation periods of various infectious diseases that are frequently asked in the exam. So with this discussion, I'm sure you will be able to answer all your discussions from common pediatric infections. So wishing you good luck for your NEET PG entrance exam and see you in my next lecture.